Fuck this guy. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Adam and Tyler World. Thank you for joining me today. Well, we got a UFC predictions for UFC 264 this Saturday, coming up tomorrow, actually. I'm finally off of work, so got nothing to do before that. But before we get into the actual matches, we got to bring out our special guest. He's hard to book. I know he's doing a lot of stuff. We've got Conor McGregor. We don't have Conor McGregor. We have the real Goldie, not the one from NXT. Yes, the UFC Championship. And I know this is not the current title. And there's two reasons why I have this one and not the current title. First one is because this one is better than the current one. I don't like the current one. It's not as nice. Also, it costs a lot of money to get the current one, so we're going to work with this one. Okay? All right, so thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. All right, so we're going to talk about the main card. First up, we got Sean O'Malley, who is, he's been around for a little bit. He's kind of like got a little bit of flair, kind of like Conor, but not quite. He lost recently to Chito Rivera, I believe his name. He lost to him, so he got the calf kicks, and then he just dropped down, and then he came back, and he's fighting against a guy who is fighting on 10 days' notice, has never fought in the UFC before, so this should be easy for Sean O'Malley. But if you're this guy, Chris Moutinho, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, which I'm almost certain I am. It's a big opportunity for him. It's a good thing because in the UFC, Dana White loves if you take a fight. So even if you're not ready, like Pat Cummings did, he fought against Daniel Cormier, I believe, in his first match ever in the UFC, and then he had a contract for a while. So this guy's got a great opportunity. He could really seize the day if he ends up beating Sean O'Malley somehow, which isn't impossible because anything can happen in the UFC, but if I was to bet, I go Sean O'Malley, but best of luck to both of these guys. Match number 2, we got Irene Aldana versus Yana Kuniskaya. I'm also mispronouncing her name. I've heard of her name before. I don't remember any fights of her. I am a fan of Irene Aldana. She looks kind of cute. She looks kind of mean too, but I don't know her personally, of course. But I'm just going to pick Irene Aldana because I think she's cute. Sexist. Match number 3 is Tuivasa versus Greg Hardy. Now, Greg Hardy is a pretty good fighter. He used to be like an NFL or some kind of football thing, something like that. And he used to be a woman beater, apparently. So, I'm going to go with Tuivasa. Plain and simple. Not as sexist. Match number 4. This is when it starts to get pretty interesting. We got Gilbert Burns, who fought against Kumar Usman. Lost against him for the title, not this title, of course. And then we got Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who did fight for this title against Tyron Woodley. Both times it went to Tyron Woodley, went to decision. People got mad, said it's boring. But you got a classic karate guy in Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus a jiu-jitsu wrestling guy in Gilbert Burns. I'm really rooting for Stephen Wonderboy Thompson because he's from like 30 minutes away from where I was born in South Carolina. Okay, you got to root for him. Plus, he's the NMF, the nicest mother effer, because they had the baddest mother effer, and they came out with the nicest mother effer because he's so nice. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be someone's either get knocked out or it's gonna be a pretty good fight, in my opinion. I could be wrong. Even Dana White goes, "Oh, this is gonna be a great match," and then it ends up being But I think this will be a good match. I'm rooting for Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, even though I can't say his name. Yeah, I'd love for him to win and then hopefully get the title. And then have somebody from South Carolina win the UFC Championship. That's never happened before. And in modern day, everybody wants to do something that's never been done before. Like the first female this, the first blah, blah, blah that, or the first guy to do this backwards. First guy to win the UFC Championship from South Carolina, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. All right, so the 5th match, this is the one that everybody's looking forward to. This is Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 3. So if we go back and look at the history, we got Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor like 7 years ago. Conor McGregor was up and comer. Dustin Poirier was as well. Conor McGregor was getting ready to get that rocket strapped to his back and into superstardom. At that point in time, Dustin Poirier was younger. I mean, they both were. And he was a little more immature, and he let Conor McGregor's words get into his head, and he already beat him before he even got in the cage. And so he beat him, of course, within like a few minutes of the first round. So there you go. You got Conor beats him the first time. Then 6 months ago, they fought each other, and Conor McGregor was all super happy, nice guy, like, oh, I love Dustin Poirier. He's a great guy. I love his hot sauce. Let's do this. Oh, I'm gonna donate to your charity and all this other stuff. And then he just hits him, knocks him out, and so you got 1-1. Now you got the rubber match. If you look at the press conference and all the build to it, Conor McGregor's being all like, "Fuck this guy. This guy's a piece of garbage. I can't stand him." But Dustin's not flinching. Why? Because Dustin's beat him. He knows he's beatable. He did it 6 months ago. It's a lot more often, a lot more recent than when Conor McGregor beat Dustin Poirier 7.5 years ago. So if Conor's doing the talking thing to kind of get in Dustin's head, it's not going to work because it's not working. If it helps him boost him up, get his mojo going, then go for it. But, man, I really want Conor to win this one because I love the Conor train. I love seeing what he's doing. I'm not a hater. I think it's awesome, everything that he's done. He went from a UFC fighter to a boxer to selling his whiskey and making hundreds of millions of dollars, something no UFC fighter's ever done in the history of the UFC. He's blown everybody out of the park when it comes to making money and making a legacy. So I do want to see the Conor train keep going. But this is a hard one in my opinion. Like, if he does beat him, cool, then he can fight Charles Oliveira and hopefully win the title and have the championship and then maybe retire and be like, retire on top. But if he loses, honestly, the only thing I see for him is maybe the Nate Diaz trilogy and see who wins there. And in my opinion, of course, Nate won the first one. I think you could say Nate won the second one. He got lucky, and the judges ruled it Conor McGregor won, but that was a close one. Man, Dustin Poirier, he's got the wrestling, he's got the striking, he's got some jiu-jitsu and stuff, but I think if Dustin gets in there, and he likes to strike, if he goes in there and mixes it up with a lot of grappling and kind of gets Conor like, oh, he's going to take me down, and does that to him, or maybe even tries the leg kick thing again, Conor might be a little too wise for it now, but if I was Dustin, I'd go for some striking, go for some grappling, try to mix it up, which is the best scenario for any kind of fighter. You can make them think like, oh, you're going to take me down. And then all of a sudden you punch him in the face like Khabib did to Conor when they fought. Conor was afraid the whole time that Khabib was going to take him down. And so then Khabib, who's not even a good striker, not Ben Askren bad striker, but still not a great striker, he was able to hit Conor in the face, flipped him backwards, and then ran at him. So it puts you on your toes when you got to worry about grappling. I know this because I'm a UFC champion. But if I had to bet, I bet Dustin Poirier. Conor's got to go in there and be perfect. He can't let Dustin Poirier get the momentum going because he's already got the confidence because I already beat him once. So he's got to go in there and be perfect. He's got to mix it up, throw a lot of like spinning back kicks and kick him in the stomach and stuff like that and mix it up because if he gets too far into it, the further the match goes, the worse it is for Conor. Conor's not one of those fighters that gets better as the match goes on. No, he's kind of like a heavyweight. Starts off throwing a lot of leather, throwing a lot of heat, trying to knock people out, and if it doesn't work, then just kind of, okay, well, let's just see if we can survive. Hopefully we beat him enough in round 1 and 2 that we can narrow this one out for the victory. It's not going to happen. Dustin Poirier is going to knock you out in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round. But yeah, so it should be a good fight card though. If you're not already ordering it, I highly suggest you order it. If you're going to illegally stream it, just don't use the site that I use. No, don't illegally stream it. Pay for it. It's going to be a good card. Even the other card, the matches below it are good, but I didn't feel like getting into those. But that is it. Hope everybody enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think is going to happen on Saturday in the comments section. Who you think is going to win? I already told you I think is going to win, but we'll go through it real quick. I think Sean O'Malley, I can't say his name. Sean O'Malley, Irene Aldana, Tuivasa, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and Conor McGregor. So, but I'm always really bad at that. I always pick the guy that I want to win, and they end up losing. So, not a good sign for me. Once again, that is it for this video. Hope everybody enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, and wherever the subscribe button is, do that, please. I do appreciate it. And until next time, me and Goldie say, peace.